Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Creative Abhyas. It's time to learn some more dining etiquettes and I would be talking to you about mask etiquette today, which we need to follow when we go out for dining. I'm sure all of you will agree with me that mask has become an important part of our daily lives these days, and there are certain etiquettes which we need to follow when we are going out for dining with regard to the mask. So first of all, to begin with, I would request you all to remember always to carry a small brown cover or a small paper bag to store away your mask while dining when you are not using it. Secondly, arrive wearing a mask. This means that never enter a restaurant, a hotel or a eating joint without wearing a mask. Don't wait for the staff there to point it out to you to wear a mask. Instead, you should be entering the place with your mask. Secondly, do not remove your mask immediately when you are seated at the table. Wait for the food to come and then only remove your mask. Even while you are seated at the table and talking to your friends or colleagues with whom you have gone for dining, do not remove your mask unless the food is served to you. Once the food is served to you, that is the time you need to remove your mask. And remove your mask safely. This means the protocol which we use to follow while wearing the mask, same is to be followed for removing the mask. This means when we wear the mask, we handle the mask with the straps, and while removing also we should handle the mask with its strap and never touch the fabric in the front, because that's the most contaminated part, we all know by now. And fold it like this, handle it with the straps, not touching the fabric, and this is the time I would ask you to use the paper bag you brought along with you and store away your mask like this in this paper bag. Just keep it like this and close it. This is the way you remove your mask safely and store it safely without touching it anywhere, just the straps. And then where are we going to place it? Are we going to place it on the table? No, not at all. That's a big no-no. Whether with a cover or without a cover, never place your mask on the table. You need to store away this cover either in your handbag, but never directly without a cover in your handbag, because that will make your mask even more dirty. So with this cover, you can keep it in your handbag, or if you have any other paper bag or bag where you can keep this safely. Else, if you don't have any handbag, you can just keep it away at a safe place, asking the waiter for the table or the empty space which can be used to store your mask. So this is the way you remove your mask and store away your mask safely in a paper bag during the dining. Last but not the least, wear your mask immediately after you have finished eating, especially when the waiter comes to clear your table or to present a check or a bill at the table. You should be wearing your mask. So same way as you removed, you open your paper bag and take out your mask and wear it on before the waiter approaches your table for anything. So I hope these little tips will help you in your daily lives when you go out for dining. Remember, it's for our safety and for the safety of others, and this will be helpful to all of us. We all need to follow. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. Do not forget to share, like and subscribe my channel if you haven't. Have a good day. Thank you. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Creative Abhyas. It's time to learn some more dining etiquettes. So today I would be talking to you about how to take a chair at the dining table and the napkin etiquette. So to sit at the dining chair, what we need to do is, usually when we arrive at a restaurant or a eating joint, we find our chair tucked in like this. And what we need to do is, we just need to lift it a bit and bring it back. I am using the word lift and not drag, because dragging may make some sound which may not be pleasant. So always lift the chair and pull it back. Don't drag it. And then you can just get inside your chair and sit. While sitting, you can pull it a bit and sit comfortably. Sit straight. Do not try to slouch or slide to one side. Do not try to place your arms like this on the chair, but you need to sit straight. You can take the support of the back of the chair with your spine and sit straight, or else you can just sit in the center of the chair like this and place your forearms on the table to be comfortable. Sit straight but yet be comfortable and relaxed. Next is, the first thing we need to do is to unfold the napkin once we have taken our seat at the dining table. The napkin is usually placed in our side plate, folded like this, or in your dinner plate like this, or it is made into some fold and kept for you to use. So we unfold the napkin like this and place it on your laps. The napkin is meant to protect our clothes from food spillage. Still, we cannot place it in our collarbone or like a bib or in the neckline. That's only for the kids we do at times. So it is for elders. We just spread it on our laps and use it from there, or in case we need, we can just take it and use it to dab our lips to ensure that there are no food particles on our lips or mouth, and then again place it. Remember that this napkin is meant to be used during the meals. It's not your hand towel. So do not consider it like or treat it like your hand towel. You need to use it in a certain way, which we are learning today. So you can just dab your lips with this. Do not try to clean your face, your forehead, or wipe your nose or anything like that with this napkin. You can dab your fingers also like this. You can wipe your fingers like this. Like this, when it is placed on your laps, you can just wipe your fingers up and down. Do not try to wring the napkin and clean your finger or wipe your finger like this. As I told you, it's a napkin, it's not your hand towel. The napkin, once unfolded and spread on the laps, remains on your laps throughout the meal. It does not return to the table in between the meals. In case you need to leave in between the meal, excuse yourself to use the washroom or to take a call or for any other reason, then you can just leave your napkin on your chair like this. Other than that, it remains on your laps. Even if you have finished eating, your napkin remains on the laps. Even if everybody has finished eating at the table, the napkin still remains at the laps. It only goes to the table once you are finally done with the meal and you are about to leave. That is the time you just take the napkin and leave it like this, slightly folded, like this on your side plate or near to your plate. You can just leave it. Don't try to fold the napkin the way it was offered to you. It's not needed. It may also confuse the waiter, or the next guest can mistake it as an unused napkin. So don't need to fold like this, but you can just leave it in a rough way, slightly fold it like this, so that we can make out it's a used napkin, and that is the way we leave it on the table. So this is with regard to how to sit at the dining chair, how to take your seat, and how to use the napkin. I hope all of you will remember this. This will help you in your daily life. It can be learnt easily with little practice. It's not so hard, and it also helps building your confidence and also keeps up your positive image when you are going out for dining. So do follow this, and if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Creative Abhyas. I hope all of you are doing good. It's been a while since we learned certain dining etiquettes, the do's and don'ts, the mask etiquette, the dining etiquette, the napkin etiquette, how to take a seat at the dining table, lot of that, and what to avoid on the dining table. But still there's so much to learn. So taking little at a time, I would now move further with our learning. So in next of my few videos, I would be talking to you about knowing your cutlery and how to use your cutlery, the resting position of the cutlery, the closing position of the cutlery, what are the ways of dining, and how to use the commonly placed dishes at the dining table, and to know which cutlery belongs to me, which water glass belongs to me, all of that. So let's begin. As you can see, this basic setup of the table. On my left is my bread and butter plate and the table napkin, which I need to unfold as I have seated. As we discussed, we need to unfold the napkin into half and place it on your laps. And after doing that, on my right side is my water glass, which is placed on the tip of this knife. On my right hand side, this is the table knife I am going to use for my dining, and this will be my fork on the left hand side. And this is my dinner plate, which is just placed right in center of my seat, half an inch away from the table. And then there is this tablespoon, which I will be using as and when I need. There will be a soup spoon laid out in the front. There will be a dessert spoon or a dessert fork, depending upon the type of dessert you are to be served. So this is the basic setup of a dining table you will generally come across when you go for dining outside or at somebody's home, or even if you want to lay out a dining table, this will be the basic setup. Though there are many pieces of cutlery added to it, but we will not be going into that detail, because when we dine at such places, it's the wait staff who takes care of it. The thumb rule of using your cutlery is outside in. So if I have to use, I will be using first the spoon, then the knife, then whichever fork is placed on the outside, I will be using that first, and then the next one, and then the next one, depending upon the number of cutlery, what are the courses served to us. According to that, I will be using it. So to hold the knife, which is on my right hand side, what I need to do is I need to hold it with my this finger up and these three fingers closing it, and the thumb comes on the side, you can see. So this is the way we hold our knife. We don't hold our knife like this. We don't hold our knife like a pen. It is, we hold it with our index finger like this on the neck of the knife, which is a thinner portion, then the thumb close, supporting it from the side, and these three fingers closing it down. So this is the way I'll hold my knife, and this is the way I'll hold my fork. Again the index finger going on top, thin portion above the fork, and these three fingers closing it, the thumb coming on the side to support it, and this is the way you hold your fork. Now there are basically two ways accepted worldwide for dining. One is the American way and the other is the continental way. In American way of dining, what we need to do is that we pierce the food of a piece of food with the knife, with the fork, hold it tight, and then cut it with the knife, make it a smaller piece, and then what we do, we rest our knife in the front portion of the front edge of the plate, and we transfer the fork to our right side, and then we take the food to our mouth. Again we transfer our fork to our left hand side, we lift the knife from the front edge of the plate, we again pierce the food piece, we cut it, and then we rest our knife, switch the fork, and take it to our mouth. So this is American way, which is also a zigzag way of eating. And so you keep on doing this in the whole process of dining. It's bit difficult, but with practice people do follow. It's your choice whether you want to go with American style of dining or you want to go with continental way of dining. When in between you want to talk to people or you want to rest, but at the same time you don't want your plate disappearing, and you want to indicate the staff that you are still eating, rest your knife in the front edge of the plate and the fork just left open like this at a 4 o'clock position. This indicates that you are still eating. Once you are done with your meal, you need to close your plate and you want to indicate the staff that your plate can be cleared. What you do is, considering your plate as a clock, this being 12 o'clock position, 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, the knife needs to be rested at 4 o'clock position, the cutting edge of the knife facing inside and a slight edge outside, not too much off the plate, not fully inside the plate. It's just a portion, a small edge of the knife coming out of the plate, resting on the edge of the plate, and then fork goes at 5 o'clock position like this. So this is the way we close our plate at the knife at 4 o'clock position, the fork at 5 o'clock position in the American way. This is an indication to the wait staff that they can clear the plate. Next, we will be talking about the continental way of dining. The continental way of dining, the holding of cutlery is more or less similar to the American way of dining. The knife is always held like this, the fork is held like this same way, the index finger on the top of the fork, here also the thumb closing it here, the 3 fingers closing it here like this, and we pierce the food piece and we cut it, but we don't cross the fork in your continental way. We just cut it like this, and then in this we don't need to switch the cutlery. After cutting, we can use the knife to push the food to your fork. You want to eat whatever is served on your plate, like your vegetables, your mashed potatoes, you can just, with the help of the knife, you can just take it, and then after that you can just take it to your mouth. You don't have to switch your cutlery in continental way of dining. Same way, you again cut one piece at a time, not all the pieces or all the food at a time. You deal with one piece of food, take a small bite, make a small bite and take it to your mouth. When you are eating, the food comes to you, remember this, you do not go to the food bending towards your plate. It's always the food, you sit straight and then with care you just bring your food to your mouth and you eat it. In European way of dining, when you want to rest your cutlery in between, what you need to do is keep your fork upside down at maybe 7 o'clock position and the knife at a 5 o'clock position, crossing it. This is the indication that you are still dining and you are not done with your meal. And once you are done with your meal, you need to close it. The closing way of continental style of dining is more or less similar to the American way, except that your fork, the knife will be at 4 o'clock position, the cutting edge facing inside, the fork will be upside down. So this will be the final position of your cutlery once you are done with the meal. So this is the way of continental way of dining. Now, as I told, the bread and butter plate on my left side will be used for placing the bread, the accompaniments which are placed in the center of the table for common use. Now, when it comes to bread, so what we need to do is that from the center dish, I need to serve the bread on my bread and butter plate, one slice, and keep the dish back. And then next is, if I want to serve butter for myself, from the center dish with the butter knife, I will place little butter in my bread and butter plate, inside, not outside, because whatever has to spill in your plate inside, not off the plate. So what I'll do is that I'll take cube of butter and place it in my bread and butter plate, and then just keep that butter dish back to its place. And after that, what I will do with the bread, I will not butter the whole slice at a time. The bread has to be broken into pieces, so I will break it into pieces, and taking one piece at a time, I will just apply butter to a piece of that broken bread, and after that I can just take it to my mouth. Now bread can be eaten with hands. There is no need to struggle with knife and fork with a bread. You can just take bread with your hands to your mouth. So it is perfectly fine. It is acceptable. So this is the way. You will not butter all the pieces which you have broken at a time, but it will be only one piece at a time, and then taking it to your mouth, chewing it and eating it, and then applying butter to another piece. So it goes like that stepwise. It's never all together. It's never all together. So this is all about your cutlery, the resting position, the closing position, the American way, the continental way, and how to serve the commonly placed butter on the table, how to serve your bread, and then how to apply butter to your bread. So I hope this is enough for today, and I expect that all of you will practice this. With little practice, all this can be easily achieved. It's not so difficult, and when we bring it into our practice, it just builds up our confidence and gives us more confidence of dining with any kind of people, whatever class, and we don't have to feel embarrassed at anything like that. And this is all I am helping you out with. I hope that all these videos are helpful to you, and you will bring it into your daily practice whenever you go out for dining, or in case you are invited somewhere. Even at home you can practice that it can be taught to children also. There is no harm in learning. Learning is a long process, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, leave comments in the comment section, and you can let me know what else you would like me to take up in my videos. And do subscribe my channel if you haven't, and ring the bell icon. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel Creative Abhyas. In my last video, I shared with you to know about our cutlery, how to hold and use our cutlery, the different ways of dining, and also the bread and butter etiquette. In this video, I would like to share with you certain do's and don'ts which we need to follow at the time of dining. So if someone has invited you for dining, that person is your host. Wait for your host to sit and start, and the host will sit and start only when all the people who are invited have joined in. That is the time everyone begins with their meals. If you are seated at the table waiting for others to join in or for your food to be served, do not play with the cutlery displayed on the table. You can have a sip of water if you wish to, but other than that, do not try to touch the cutlery which is placed on the table unnecessarily. Just sit simply without touching anything on the table as such. Once your food is served, taste your food first and then only season it. If you need to add some salt or pepper to it, or any other seasoning which goes with your food, but never without tasting the food try to add salt or pepper to your food. That's kind of rude to the host who has invited you or the chef who has cooked the food. And if someone on the table asks you to pass salt or pepper, it's a rule to pass salt and pepper together. And it's always polite to pass the dishes which are placed close to you to the other diners sitting next to you. Always offer to others before serving yourself, and always pass from your right side. If someone on the table asks you to pass the bread basket or the chapati or anything which is served in a dish or in a basket, Always offer the basket to the person. Never try to hold a slice of bread and pass it with your hands to the person. Let the person take it with their own hands, and you do not touch the bread or the chapati with your hand before while passing it. Also, do not stretch your arm to pick up something, some dish across the other diner. Instead, ask the other person sitting next to you, saying politely, "Could you please pass me some pasta or rice or bread," or whatever the case may be. Also, do not hold your cutlery while talking to people in between. This means in my last video I showed you how to rest your cutlery. So rest your cutlery in between if you want to talk to people. Avoid doing this while talking and in between to the people and showing your knife or the fork in your hand and pointing it out and then talking. You know, this happened and then I said this, he told me this. No, this is not the right way. Rest your cutlery in your plate and then talk to people in between the meals. Last but not the least, if you need to use the toothpick at the table, do it very discreetly, covering your mouth. Otherwise, if you can avoid, just avoid it. But at all, if you need to do, always cover your mouth and then use it very discreetly, and just after using it, keep it to the side of your plate without getting much noticed. So these are little things which we need to keep in mind while we are dining with others. I hope this will be helpful to you. And if you like this video, do like, share and subscribe. Leave comments if you wish to. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day ahead. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Creative Abhyas. In my last video I shared with you certain do's and don'ts at the dining table, and in this video today I would be talking to you about the cell phone etiquette, the handbag, the accessories which we generally tend to place at the dining table without knowing. So to begin with, the first and most important is that dining table is not the place for your cell phones, your handbags, your sunglasses, your mask, your car keys, all of that. So avoid taking such things to the dining table. You either need to place them in your handbag, and males can put their cell phones in their pocket. Before coming to the dining table, it's must that you put your cell phone on silent. And if you are expecting an important call, let your host know about it, and when it's time for you to take that call, just excuse yourself, go and attend that call and then come back and join your group. Holding conversations and answering calls at the dining table is considered to be rude to the host and the other diners. It gives a kind of message that the person you are talking over the phone is more important to you than the people sitting and dining with you. There is an acceptable way of using mobile phones during dining. If you are expecting a call, I told you the way that let your host know or excuse yourself from the table and attend your call. If it's an emergency call, excuse yourself, leave the room, attend the call and then come back and join the people you are dining with. There may be a situation when you have come out for dining but you have left children back home and you are concerned about their well-being, which is perfectly fine, and you can feel free to look at your phone or for any text message, for any calls from home, and in case you receive a call from home, excuse yourself and attend to that call and come back to the table. So every time if you are expecting any important call, and do that, I am using the word important, so just decide what's important for you and what's not important for you. Because meal time, whenever you are dining with your friends or family or otherwise at a formal place, that's a very quality time you spend with your known people. Don't spoil it by over usage of your phone unnecessarily, keeping yourself engaged and giving others a message that you are not present there. You are present there physically, but you are occupied. That's not a very good message, and it's a bad kind of etiquette. Doesn't give a very positive image of you in front of others. And when it comes to, if you have somebody has invited you, but some of you are not able to join, and you decide, we all decide in fact, we all decide to place a group call to the person to let them know that you are missing them. It's all right to do so, but do so with everybody's permission, and only after you have placed your order, before your food comes, and or after everybody has finished, but not when everyone is eating in between the meals. Don't place a group call. Photographs. These days it has become a fashion, and it has become very important for all of us. We get engaged in clicking pictures with the people we are dining and at the place we are dining. It's fine, but again, inform your host about that. Just take a permission kind of thing from them so that they don't feel offended that you are busy clicking your pictures, taking your selfies, and do so when everyone on the table is comfortable with it, and don't be too involved with your selfies or use of your cell phone for photographs and all, and keep the photo session brief. That's the key to it. If at all you need to use your mobile phone for photographs and etc. Texting from the dining table. Taking your phone and texting to others also gives a message to the other diners that the person, you are still engaged. The person over the phone in conversation with you through the text is more important to you than the people who are sitting around you. And that's kind of very, very rude to the other diners who are sitting with you. So these are little things which I felt that it's important to share with you. And last but not the least, politeness. Politeness is the key to everything. So be polite to others and make them feel your presence by being there completely and not engaging yourself in your cell phones or in your photographs or any other thing, and talk to everybody on the table, give equal attention to everyone, and make everybody feel important. That's the signs of a good diner. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and if you like it, do like it, subscribe and share my channel if you haven't. Thanks so much. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel Creative Abhyas. In this video today, I am going to talk to you about good hosting and why is it important and simple ways to achieve that. Don't you like when you have gone to somebody's place and they make you feel special? They make you feel welcome and make you feel that they are happy to have you? I am sure the way you like yourself to be treated, you would like to treat your guests the same way. So whenever you are planning an event, an occasion, or any party, or inviting guests for any reason, you need to plan. You need to write down everything on a checklist, what all needs to be taken care of, right from sending invites, what would be the menu, what would be the drinks, how would be the sequence, where the guest will be seated, how many people are coming, if there are kids in the party, or how your domestic help or your serving team going to serve, or are you planning to serve them yourself? How are you going to plan? What are you going to keep ready? How are you going to make your home ready? Everything of that. So the first thing, when you are sending invites, whether it is written or whether it is verbal through a phone, send your invites well in advance. Give your guests some time to decide, as they may have their own engagements. So at least a week prior you should be sending the invitations, whichever way is comfortable with you, whether it is a written one or over the phone. But 2-3 days prior to your event or your occasion or your party, you need to give a reminder call to your guest that you would be looking forward to have them on specific date, mentioning the time. Be clear with the time and the date to your guests. From what time? If you say evening may start from 6 o'clock or at least 7 o'clock, and it may go up to 9 o'clock or like that. So be little specific about the timings when you would be expecting your guests. Once the invites are done and the reminder call is done, it's your role which comes in. You need to be prepared. Yes, you have heard it right. You need to be prepared. You need to prepare your home for your guests, and so you need to look into the menu. So do all your purchases in time, what all is needed. Stock up your drinks, your food stuff, so that you don't have to rush at the last moment and you are available to your guest and everything goes as per plan smoothly. After you are done that, prepare your home, make it ready for your guests, create more space, remove the unnecessary things. When we stay at our place, we like to stay our own way and keep things here and there at times, and it's not that so organized, though we should be. We should be organized at all times, but it doesn't go that way. Sometimes we just want to be ourselves. So when it is only up to us, it's fine. But when we are expecting some guests, our place needs to be tidy, needs to be clear of all unnecessary stuff. The magazines you would not like to see around when guests are there at your place, just do them away, keep them away, store them away somewhere. And whatever stuff you don't need, because you need more space, see that how many people are invited and will everybody have in a comfortable place for sitting, enough space is there for sitting. So you need to look into all of that. So create more space, and also look for a space where your guests, when they come, they can store their handbags, or if according to the weather, whether they are carrying umbrellas, or they can keep their helmets or their car keys. Whatever they have carried along with them, it needs to be kept at a particular place. They would like to remove, if it is winters, they may like to remove their coats and hang it somewhere. So find a place with available resources. I'm not saying go out of way to arrange something, but at least provide them with something which is available with you to make them comfortable, keep their things. And make most of your food stuff ready to the extent that you don't need to engage so much in the kitchen and can attend your guest. So make your snacks half done so that it can be quickly done that time. Same goes with the drinks. Whatever little preps you need to do well in advance. The mise a plat you need to do before. Mise a plat is when you do things prior to the cooking or anything. You keep certain things ready to prepare your dish. So do your mise a plat well in time, and when your guests are there, you should be free to receive them, open the door for them, whatever the case may be. Whosoever has decided to receive the guest at your place, open the door for them, make them comfortable, keeping their handbags and keeping their stuff away, and bringing them to the seating place. Show them the place of seating and how they would be seated. Make everybody comfortable and see that everybody has a comfortable seating space. If somebody is new to your place and they don't know among each other, so do an introduction with them. Just make them introduced to each and every guest so that they are comfortable. Because when you would be busy serving or getting things for them or looking into the food or other things, the guest will be the people who will be sitting along with each other. So they need to know, at least to an extent, they should know each other so that they are comfortable. And as soon as they are seated, offer them the drinks according to the occasion, according to the weather. You can serve them the drinks, whatever you have planned, and don't take too long to serve the drinks. And as soon as the drinks are served according to their preferences, start for the snacks. Ask the serving people to start serving the snacks. If there are kids who have accompanied their parents, show the kids also a place to sit. Maybe a separate room if you have, or a separate corner where they can sit. Provide them with some games or some toys if you have. If you have your own kit, of their age or otherwise. Ask them to get along with the other kids, make them comfortable, show them the house, and engage them in some activity like some games, or you can tell them about the TV, how to switch on, play something on the TV of their preference, all of that, and make the kids comfortable. See that the kids are also served at the same time when the other adults are served. Tell your domestic help or your serving team to go to the kids' room also and serve the drinks or the snacks accordingly to them also. Keep a check on the kids time to time and attend to all your guests. Give equal attention to all your guests. Try to talk to every guest. If you see that any guest is sitting alone and not getting along so well, you can walk up to that guest and talk to them and make them comfortable. Make them sit with people you feel that they will make them comfortable. And when it comes to food, if the food is served, indicate your guests to serve the food. If it is a buffet system, they can offer them plate, be polite, and attend to each and every guest with a smile, and show them that you are very happy to have them. And not only show, definitely it's going to give you happiness since you have hosted a party or an event. And after that, make them sit comfortably where they can have their food, whether they just want to spread out in the living room or at the dining place, wherever you have arranged the way you want it to be. So just indicate your guest how they can be comfortable with their food. And once they are seated, it's a special gesture that you can get certain things for the second served there only, like the breads, the rice, or any other dish which can be served if you have enough serving team, or in fact you can take up to that you can ask your guest if they need something in between. Try to get their glasses filled before they ask for it, for their drinks. Look into all of that, and that day it's your day. It's your day to make them feel special. So just see and keep an eye on each and everything with a smile always, and with a warm gesture that you are happy to have all your guests. So that is the way, that are the signs of good host. And once they are done with their meal, help them clearing their plates, like where to keep, just indicate, or your serving team can, your people in your home can take away the plates, or in case the guest insists to keep their plates, dishes themselves, that's also perfectly fine. You can show them the place. So just decide according to the thing, but have everything planned. And once the dessert is served, and in case some guest needs to leave, you can still show a courtesy, asking them to stay back for longer since you are enjoying their company, and but don't overforce them. They may have their own commitments, or they may have kids at home, so that's fine. But those who agree to stay back, attend to them, sit with them, offer them a post drink like tea or coffee, or any good digestive after dinner or lunch, whatever you feel, whatever you have planned. And see of the guests who are leaving in between after the dinner, immediately after the dinner or the meal. See them off properly. Attend to every guest, and don't just make anybody feel that you did not attend to them. So that is the role of a host, to give equal importance to everyone, talk to everyone, make everyone feel special, and see to the last that each guest leaves and you see them off, and ensure that they were comfortable, and mention again and again that you were very happy to have them. At least once or twice you can do so. And so this is the way you host your guests, showing them your house if you're comfortable with that, indicating them like the use of washroom or anything like that. If anybody is not comfortable sitting for long, you can ask them, offer them to rest in case they prefer so. So all of that we need to keep in mind once we have guests at our place. In case there are any, before planning the menu, you can also check into their any kind of allergy if somebody is having, keeping the days in mind what would be the day, and certain people avoid certain things like non-veg items on certain things. Especially in Indian culture, we do avoid certain things. So plan the day accordingly, which is suitable to all the guests. All of that you need to look into. And then the guests who have stayed over or otherwise in between, keep the conversation on, and you can talk to them about their families, their recent travel, or if somebody was unwell in past, you can talk to them about their well-being, how did it go. So all of that, keep the conversation flowing, talk to everyone and keep them engaged so that they feel that yes, the host is very proactive and she's very happy or he's very happy to have us, and they would look forward to be at your place again and again. I mean, like whenever you want, of course. So these are the things and signs of good host which we all can look into and make our guests feel very special at our place. And especially when it comes to your home, make your home special, welcoming, like adding something, some extra touches. You can add flowers, you can add candles. We all know these days how to set up the place when we are expecting some guests. So I'm sure that then your guest won't leave you giving a compliment, and who doesn't like a compliment? So at the end, all your efforts will pay off if any of your guests or all of your guests just say that you were simply an awesome host and the house looked so beautiful, everything was so planned. So that is all. I mean, like, you are done, your day is made, and that is all what we look forward to, and that's what we keep us going. So this is all about good hosting. I'm sure that you are going to keep all this in mind whenever you are inviting people at your home, and this is going to add a special touch of yours whenever you are hosting people at your place. So thanks for watching this video. I'm sure that this is going to help everyone. Thanks for watching. Do like this video if you wish to, and give comments, and subscribe my channel if you are new to it. More is on the way. Stay tuned. Thank you so much. नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका क्रिएटिव अभ्यास में। आज के इस वीडियो में मैं आपसे बात करूंगी कि हमें बच्चों को क्या सिखाना चाहिए जब वो डाइनिंग टेबल पर बैठते हैं। बहुत से टाइम ऐसा होता है कि हम जब बच्चों के साथ बाहर खाना खाने जाते हैं तो बच्चे कुछ इस तरह की हरकतें करते हैं जिससे हमें काफी शर्मिंदगी होती है। तो अगर हम शुरू से ही उन्हें कुछ बातें बताएंगे कि क्या करना सही है और क्या करना गलत है, तो बच्चे जो हैं इस तरह का बिहेव बाहर जाकर नहीं करेंगे और घर पर भी वो इन सब बातों का ध्यान रखेंगे। तो सबसे पहली चीज जो आप बच्चे को बताइए वो ये कि खाने के टेबल पर हमेशा हाथ धो करके आएं। ऐसे भी आज के टाइम में हाथ धोना बहुत ही जरूरी हो गया है और बच्चों को इस चीज की आदत भी हो गई है। तो बहुत आसान रहेगा आपको ये बच्चों को बोलना कि खाने के टेबल पर हमेशा साफ हाथ लेकर ही बैठें, मुंह साफ होना चाहिए, और बैठने के बाद वो एक तो टेबल पर सीधे बैठें। चेयर पर जब बैठते हैं तो सीधे बैठें, चेयर को इस तरह से झूला ना झुलाएं, टेबल को ना हिलाएं और सीधे बैठें। और बैठने के साथ ही जो नैपकिन रखा होता है वो उसको अपने अनफोल्ड करके अपनी लैप्स में उसको बिछा लें। इसके अलावा जब वो खाना सर्व करते हैं तो खाना सर्व करने से पहले वो ये ध्यान रखें कि सब लोग बैठ चुके हैं, सब लोग खाना सर्व करने लगे हैं, तभी वो लोग भी खाना सर्व करें। खाना सर्व करते टाइम वो ये ध्यान रखें कि वो अपनी प्लेट में बहुत सारा भरे नहीं, क्योंकि ऐसा हो सकता है कि वो फिर उस खाने को खत्म न कर पाए तो वो खाना वेस्ट हो जाएगा, बेकार हो जाएगा। तो उतना ही खाना लें जितना वो खा सकते हैं। कोई चीज अगर उनको नहीं पता है इसका टेस्ट कैसा है तो उसको पहले थोड़ा सा लें, खा कर देखें और फिर ही दोबारा लें, ताकि ऐसा ना हो कि उन्हें वो पसंद ना आए और वो खाना वेस्ट हो जाए। खाना वेस्ट करने की बात हम जब भी करते हैं तो हमेशा बच्चों को, उन बच्चों का एग्जाम्पल दीजिए, उन लोगों का एग्जाम्पल दीजिए जिन्हें एक टाइम भी भरपेट खाना नहीं मिलता है। तो बच्चे जब खाना अपनी प्लेट में छोड़ते हैं तो उनको हमेशा ये समझाइए कि खाना वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहिए, ये और लोगों के काम आ सकता है। बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं दुनिया में जिनको एक टाइम का खाना भी भरपेट नहीं मिलता है। तो ऐसे एग्जाम्पल जब आप बच्चों को देंगे तो बच्चा खाना वेस्ट करने से पहले 2 बार सोचेगा। तो ये अच्छी आदत आप बच्चे को हमेशा घर से ही सिखा सकते हैं। इसके अलावा जो खाना उनसे बहुत दूर रखा है वो उसको पहुंचने की कोशिश ना करें, उसको उठाने की कोशिश ना करें। अपने साथ बैठे हुए लोगों से, या अगर आप भी उनके साथ खाना खा रहे हैं तो वो आपसे मांग सकते हैं। किसी को पास करने के लिए बोलिए, अपने आप हाथ बढ़ाकर दूसरे के आगे से खाना उठाने की कोशिश ना करें, वो गिरा भी सकते हैं। तो इस तरह से बच्चों को बताइए कि हमेशा हेल्प ऑफर भी करें और दूसरे की मदद ले भी और दूसरे को मदद करें भी। इस तरह से खाना सर्व करने के बाद वो छोटी छोटी बाइट्स करके खाएं। थोड़ा थोड़ा टुकड़ा, छोटा छोटा टुकड़ा लेकर ही मुंह में डालें, मुंह को भरे नहीं। और मुंह में जब खाना है तब बात नहीं करें, खाने को अच्छे से चबाएं, मुंह बंद करके चबाएं, आवाज नहीं करें। और खाना जब मुंह में है तब तो मुंह बिल्कुल ना खोलें। खाना खत्म करने के बाद ही वो किसी से अगर कुछ कहना चाहते हैं तो वो उसके बाद ही कहें। बड़े बच्चे जो हैं उनको आप नाइफ फोक और जो छुरी कांटे से खाना सिखा सकते हैं, अगर वो इस एज में हैं कि वो सीख सकते हैं। छोटे बच्चों को तो हमें अलाउ करना ही होता है कि वो हाथ से खाएं, जब तक कि वो इतनी एज नहीं है उनकी कि वो ये सब सीख पाएं। लेकिन जैसे जैसे धीरे धीरे वो बड़े होते हैं तो आप उनको नाइफ और फोक पकड़ना सिखा सकते हैं, उससे खाना खाना सिखा सकते हैं। दूसरा, बच्चों को बताइए कि जो चीजें बीच में रखी होती हैं, जैसे कि केचप हुआ, जैसे कि बटर हुआ, तो उसमें उंगली नहीं डाले, या फिर अपनी झूठी चम्मच जो है उसमें से नहीं सर्व करें। साफ चम्मच से उसको लें और अपनी प्लेट में रखें और फिर वो वहीं से उसको खाएं। उंगली मुंह में नहीं डाले। बच्चे सॉस को, केचप को ले लेके बार बार मुंह में डालना बच्चों को बहुत पसंद होता है, लेकिन ये चीज आप उनको मना कीजिए कि जब सबके साथ बैठकर खाना खा रहे होते हैं तो इस तरह की हरकतें नहीं करनी चाहिए। वो अच्छा नहीं माना जाता है, दूसरों को साथ बैठे लोगों को अच्छा नहीं लगता है, क्योंकि वो सभी के लिए होता है। तो किसी को भी किसी का झूठा खाना कोई भी खाना पसंद नहीं करता, तो तब लोग नोटिस करते हैं। तो आप नहीं चाहेंगे कि आपके बच्चे को इस तरह से कोई नोटिस करे कि बच्चा जब गलत कर रहा है। तो अगर हम उनको घर से ही ये सब चीजें सिखाएंगे तो बच्चा इस तरह से बाहर भी बिहेव नहीं करेगा। इसके अलावा बच्चे को बताइए कि जो हाथ गंदे हो जाते हैं तो वो नैपकिन पर ही पोंछे, और नैपकिन को बहुत इधर उधर करके फेस पे ना लगाए। नैपकिन का जो मैंने तरीका बताया है उसी तरह से वो उसको यूज करे। और खाने के टेबल पर घर में भी कोई मोबाइल फोन या फिर कोई ये उनका गेमिंग डिवाइस या कोई खिलौना वो खाने के टेबल पर ना लेकर आए। आप उनको इस तरह से बता सकते हैं कि जो हमारे जो टॉयज होते हैं, उनके जो खिलौने होते हैं, उस पर कुछ गंदगी ऐसी होती है जो हमें दिखाई नहीं देती। वो देखने में साफ लगता है, लेकिन क्योंकि हम उसको रोज छूते हैं, ऊपर रखते हैं, नीचे रखते हैं, तो उसमें काफी गंदगी होती है जो हमें नहीं दिखाई देती। तो ऐसी चीजों को खाने के टेबल पर ना लेकर आए, क्योंकि जो उनके हाथ धुले हैं अगर वो फिर से उसको छुएंगे तो वो गंदे हो जाएंगे। तो इस खाने के टेबल पर कोई खाने का, कोई खेलने की चीजें नहीं लेकर आए, कोई गेमिंग डिवाइस नहीं लेकर आए। और ये हम तभी उनको सिखा सकते हैं जब हम खुद बड़े इस चीज का एग्जाम्पल उनके आप सामने सेट करते हैं कि हम अपना मोबाइल फोन डाइनिंग टेबल पर लेकर नहीं जाते हैं। बच्चे हमसे ही सीखते हैं, अच्छी बातें भी और बुरी बातें भी। तो हमको एग्जाम्पल सेट अपने बच्चों के आगे करना पड़ेगा कि डाइनिंग टेबल पर कोई मोबाइल फोन नहीं लेना चाहिए। थोड़ी देर के लिए हम बिना मोबाइल फोन के भी खाना खा सकते हैं। तो बच्चे जो हैं ये चीजें बहुत जल्दी सीखते हैं। तो आपका एग्जाम्पल उनके सामने सबसे अच्छा है। घर में बच्चा सबसे ज्यादा सीखता है, तो शुरू से ही ये सब चीजें आप उनको सिखा सकते हैं। इसके अलावा आप उनको ये बताइए कि कोई भी ऐसी बात डाइनिंग टेबल पर ना करें, या फिर कहीं पर भी इस तरह की बात ना करें। कभी कभी बच्चे कुछ ऐसी बात करते हैं और हम लोग, चाहे वो बच्चे की बात गलत हो, हम सब उस पर हंस पड़ते हैं, हमसे अपनी हंसी नहीं रोकी जाती है। लेकिन जब हम एक ग्रुप में बैठे होते हैं, बाहर के लोगों के साथ बैठे होते हैं, तो बच्चा जब कुछ ऐसी बात करता है तो कई बार कुछ लोगों को अच्छा नहीं लगता है। तो हमेशा बच्चे को बताइए कि इस तरह की बातें डाइनिंग टेबल पर ना करें, या फिर बाहर कहीं पर बैठे हैं तो कोई भी ऐसी बात ना करें जो दूसरे को सुनने में अच्छी न लगे। कोई ऐसा मजाक नहीं करें जो दूसरे को सुनने में अच्छा नहीं लगे। बच्चे को ये बताइए कि हमेशा जो है खाने को कभी क्रिटिसाइज नहीं करें। जब वो बाहर जाएंगे तो उनको हमेशा अपनी पसंद का खाना नहीं मिलेगा। किसी के घर गए हैं तो उन्होंने जो भी खाना बनाया है बच्चा उसे बिना मुंह बनाए खाए। आप अपने बच्चे को शुरू से ये सिखाइए कि खाने के लिए हमेशा थैंकफुल रहना चाहिए, उसको क्रिटिसाइज नहीं करना चाहिए। जो भी मिल रहा है बहुत अच्छा मिल रहा है, इसलिए खाने में कमियां ना निकालें। होस्ट को हमेशा थैंक्स करें, जिसने आपको इनवाइट किया है उन्होंने बहुत एफर्ट लेके ये खाना बनाया होता है। तो ये बच्चे को छोटी छोटी चीजें आप हमेशा घर में सिखाइए कि जब हम किसी के घर जाते हैं, किसी ने अगर आपको बुलाया है तो उन्होंने बहुत मेहनत की है आपको ये सब खाना खिलाने के लिए, बनाने के लिए। या सर्व करने के लिए। तो ये सब बच्चों को आप बातें स्टार्टिंग से ही बताएं। इसके अलावा जो खाने की चीजें होती हैं उससे बच्चा खेले नहीं। जैसे कभी कभी हम बॉइल्ड अंडा अगर सर्व है, मान लो ब्रेकफास्ट कर रहे हैं, तो बच्चे क्या है बॉइल्ड अंडा उठाकर उससे खेलने लगते हैं। एप्पल रखा है तो एप्पल को कभी बॉल की तरह उसको खेलने लगते हैं। तो ये सब बच्चों को बताइए कि ये सब नहीं करना होता है। और अपने जो छुरी कांटा होता है टेबल पर उससे भी नहीं खेलना है, उसको उठाकर भी ऐसे इधर उधर बात नहीं करना है, उससे आवाज नहीं करना है टेबल पर, अपनी प्लेट में उसको नहीं बार बार टच करना है जिससे कि आवाज होती है। तो ये सब चीजें अगर आप छोटी छोटी बच्चों को बताएंगे तो बच्चा बाहर जाने पर भी इन सब बातों का ध्यान रखेगा। ये बातें उनके साथ हमेशा रहेंगी और वो बड़े होने तक इन सब बातों को अगर शुरू से सीखा है तो वो याद रखेगा और ये उनकी पर्सनैलिटी को डेवलप करने में काम आएगा। और बच्चे जो हैं हमेशा एक अच्छा बिहेव बाहर करेंगे जिससे आपको हमेशा उन पर फख्र होगा, ना कि आपको उससे शर्मिंदा होना होगा। और खाने का टेबल तभी छोड़ें जब सब लोग खाना खा चुके हैं, तभी वो सबसे बोल करके खाने के टेबल से उठे और थैंक्स जरूर बोलें जिसने भी उन्हें खाने पर इनवाइट किया है। ये प्रैक्टिस आप घर से ही उनको डालिए कि थैंक्स वो आपको भी कर सकते हैं। अगर आप उनको खाना खिला रहे हैं तो कभी कभी बच्चे के अंदर ये थैंकफुल एटीट्यूड जो है होना चाहिए। तो ये सब बातें छोटी छोटी अगर आप बच्चों को बताएंगे तो उनके लिए बहुत ही अच्छा रहेगा। मैं आशा करती हूँ आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया होगा। इसे लाइक और शेयर कीजिएगा और कमेंट्स दीजिएगा कमेंट सेक्शन में। एंड अगर आपने मेरा चैनल नहीं सब्सक्राइब किया है तो प्लीज़ इसे सब्सक्राइब कीजिएगा। देखने के लिए धन्यवाद। नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका क्रिएटिव अभ्यास में। और आज के इस वीडियो में मैं आपसे बात करूंगी, जब मैंने गुड होस्टिंग के बारे में बात की तो ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि हम गेस्ट रूम के बारे में बात ना करें। तो जब भी आपको आपके घर मेहमान आने वाले हैं और वो रात को रुकने वाले हैं तो आप उनको जो गेस्ट बेडरूम प्रोवाइड करते हैं उसमें क्या क्या ध्यान रख सकते हैं, किन किन चीज़ों का आप ख्याल रख सकते हैं और कैसे उसे तैयार करेंगे फटाफट से, इसके बारे में हम आज थोड़ी सी छोटे छोटे जो है हिंट्स मैं आपको देती हूँ, जिसके वजह से आपके लिए ये बहुत इजी हो जाएगा। तो सबसे पहले अगर आप उनके लिए कमरा स्पेयर कर सकते हैं तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है। तो देखिए कि उनको आप एक कमरा दे सकें और बेड जो है कंफर्टेबल हो। और इसके अलावा आप हमेशा अपने गेस्ट बेडरूम के लिए एक सेट ऑफ बेडशीट और एक ब्लैंकेट और कुछ टॉवल्स जो हैं सेपरेट हमेशा रखिए। उनको आप अपने रेगुलर यूज़ में मत कीजिए, क्योंकि गेस्ट को हमेशा स्पेशल देना होता है और साफ देना होता है, तो उसकी कंडीशन अच्छी होनी चाहिए। इसलिए जब आपके गेस्ट आपके पास रुकने के लिए आ रहे हैं और आपका गेस्ट बेडरूम यूज़ करेंगे तो आप उसमें एक साफ बेडशीट बिछाइए अच्छे सी। उसके अलावा अच्छे से उनको सॉफ्ट पिलोज दीजिए। आप उसमें बीच में कुशन लगा सकते हैं ताकि आपका बेड सुंदर लगे। बेड मेकिंग अच्छे से कीजिए, उसको बेडशीट को अच्छे से टक कीजिए और एक नीट एंड क्लीन सा अच्छा सा सॉफ्ट ब्लैंकेट आप उनको दीजिए। जैसा भी मौसम हो, अगर एसी का टाइम है तो एसी बेडशीट आप उनको प्रोवाइड कीजिए। तो ये हुआ बेड के बारे में। इसके अलावा आप उनको एटलीस्ट 2 क्लीन टॉवल दीजिए ताकि वो यूज़ कर सकें। 2 हैंड टॉवल आप अगर स्पेयर कर सकते हैं, नहीं तो ये थोड़ी सी चीज़ें रखी भी जा सकती हैं घर में और आप उस टाइम जब आपके गेस्ट हैं तो आप उनको उस टाइम निकालिए। तो उनके लिए आप क्लीन टॉवल्स प्रोवाइड कीजिए। वॉशरूम को देखिए कि वॉशरूम में आप प्रॉपर टॉयलेटरीज रखिए, लाइक शैम्पू हुआ, छोटा सा टूथपेस्ट, एक स्पेयर टूथब्रश या 2 टूथब्रश, जिस तरह से आपके गेस्ट हैं। अगर 2 लोग हैं तो रखिए। कभी कभी लोग अपना टूथब्रश घर में भूल जाते हैं तो एक छोटा सा जो है ओरल किट आप वहाँ रख सकते हैं, टूथब्रश और टूथपेस्ट का। इसके अलावा आप वहाँ पर देखिए कि लाइक शैम्पू हो, सोप हो, हैंड वॉश हो। और फिर आप अपने बाथरूम को अच्छे से उस दिन क्लीन करके ड्राई करके आप अपने गेस्ट के लिए उसको रेडी कीजिए। और उसमें आप छोटा सा कोई कहीं पर अगर जगह है तो छोटा सा एक प्लांट रख सकते हैं जिससे जो उसकी ब्यूटी को ऐड करेगा। थोड़े से कोई या फिर कोई फ्लावर्स लगा सकते हैं, तो थोड़ा सा उसको डेकोरेटिव बना सकते हैं ताकि वो अच्छा लगे। हैंड टॉवल हैंग कर दीजिए इस तरह से। और बहुत सारी आजकल क्रिएटिव चीज़ें आती हैं, जैसे टॉयलेटरीज आप बास्केट में रख सकते हैं अगर आपके पास जगह है तो, या फिर जो शेल्फ है आप उसमें उसको अच्छे से अरेंज कर सकते हैं। एक कोम रख सकते हैं वहाँ पर। इस तरह से छोटी छोटी चीज़ें, या फिर हेयर ब्रश ये हुआ। और जो भी चीज़ें हमको वॉशरूम में हम खुद सोचते हैं कि यूज़ करते हैं वो होनी चाहिए, तो आप वो अपने गेस्ट को भी प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं। इसके बाद अगेन वी कम बैक टू द गेस्ट बेडरूम। नाउ गेस्ट बेडरूम में आप उसके साइड में एक रनर डाल सकते हैं और साइड टेबल है तो उस पर अगर लैंप आपके पास में है तो आप वो लगा दीजिए और उसको उनके आने से पहले ऑन कर दीजिए ताकि कमरा जो है सुंदर लगे। उस पर एक छोटा सा फ्लावर पॉट रख सकते हैं। अगर आपके रूम में जगह है तो आप कोने में एक प्लांट भी रख सकते हैं। और इसके अलावा अगर वो जो गेस्ट हैं आपके, वो आपके फैमिली फ्रेंड्स हैं या फिर आपके रिलेटिव्स हैं जिनके साथ आप कभी कभी हॉलीडेज पे जाते हैं और कुछ फोटोग्राफ्स अगर आपके पास हैं तो आप एक फ़ोटो फ्रेम में लगा के अब उनकी पुरानी मेमोरीज ताज़ा कर सकते हैं कि आपके और उनके साथ का इकट्ठा जो टाइम उन्होंने आपने बिताया है वो आप उसको रिफ्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं उस टाइम एक फ़ोटो फ्रेम के फॉर्म में वहाँ रख के। एक छोटा सा टेबल अगर आपके उस कमरे में नहीं है तो उस दिन के लिए अगर आप स्पेयर कर सकते हैं तो एक छोटा टेबल और चेयर, ताकि अगर किसी को कुछ काम करना है, कोई लैपटॉप यूज़ करना है या कुछ भी, तो हमेशा कंफर्टेबल रहता है कि वो टेबल चेयर पर बैठकर ये काम कर सकें, या कुछ ऑफिशियल अगर उनको कुछ भी है तो वो वहाँ बैठ के काम कर सकें। और इसके अलावा अगर रूम में स्पेस है तो एक छोटा सा सिंगल सोफ़ा अगर आप प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं, नहीं तो एक चेयर ही चलेगा कोई भी, और एक छोटा सा टी पॉय जिसपे लाइक वो टी कॉफ़ी अपना अगर कुछ लेना चाहें तो आराम से बैठ सकें, क्योंकि हर टाइम जो कोई हम भी बेड पे बैठना पसंद नहीं करते, तो एक अगर छोटा सा सीटिंग अरेंजमेंट अगर रूम में होगा तो वो इट विल ऐड टू द ब्यूटी ऑफ योर गेस्ट बेडरूम। हाँ, इसके अलावा अगर एक छोटी सी ट्रे में आप एक हॉट वाटर केटल अरेंज कर दें और उसके साथ में 2 मग्स और छोटे छोटे शैशेज लाइक टी, कॉफ़ी एंड मिल्क, शुगर एंड ऑल दैट अगर आप रखेंगे तो आपके गेस्ट को लेट नाइट अगर टी या कॉफ़ी की ज़रूरत है तो वो आप पे डिपेंड नहीं करेंगे, वो अपना आराम से बना सकते हैं। और अर्ली मॉर्निंग भी अगर उनको किचन में नहीं जाना है या कभी कभी लोग हेजिटेट करते हैं तो आप उनको ये प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं। दिस विल बी अ स्पेशल एडिड टच टू योर हॉस्पिटैलिटी, और आप मतलब स्पेशल प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं अपने गेस्ट को और आपने इस बात का ख्याल रखा है। तो कुछ लोग हैं जल्दी उठते हैं और उनको उठते ही चाय चाहिए होती है या कॉफ़ी चाहिए होती है, तो आप ग्रीन टी के शैशे रख सकते हैं, लेमन टी रख सकते हैं, कुछ भी जो भी आपके पास अवेलेबल हो आप इस तरह से थोड़ा सा एफर्ट ले सकते हैं उसको स्पेशल बनाने के लिए। तो ये काफ़ी अच्छा रहता है कि लाइक आपने एक टी कॉफ़ी अरेंजमेंट वहाँ कर दिया है, उसके साथ एक एयर टाइट कंटेनर में थोड़ी सी कुकीज़ रख दीजिए ताकि खाली चाय आपके गेस्ट ना पिएं। कुछ लोग आजकल जैसे दवाई लेते हैं सुबह सुबह, खाली पेट नहीं लेना होता या फिर उसके बाद उनको तुरंत खाना होता है, तो 2 बिस्किट खा के वो मेडिसिन ले सकते हैं। तो इस तरह से ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हैं जो आप अगर अपने गेस्ट के लिए करेंगे तो उनको बहुत अच्छा लगता है। और आपके पास कुछ मैगजीन्स हैं, अगर वो घूमने आए हैं आपके पास तो आसपास की टूरिंग गाइड होती है, गाइड मैगजीन्स होती हैं, वो आप रख सकते हैं। कुछ वैसे भी मैगजीन्स रख सकते हैं पढ़ने के लिए, ताकि फ्री टाइम में कभी कभी आप बिजी होंगे और गेस्ट जो है अपने कमरे में रेस्ट कर रहे हैं तो कुछ भी करना चाहें तो वो कर सकते हैं, लाइक अपने आप को एंटरटेन करना चाहें तो थोड़ी सी बुक्स रख दीजिए। अगर आपको उनका इंटरेस्ट पता हो तो उनके इंटरेस्ट की बुक्स रख दीजिए। देखिए कि टीवी अगर है तो वहाँ पर टीवी कनेक्टेड हो और उनको उसका यूज़ करने का तरीका आप एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं। अगर आपके पास स्पेयर आयरन है तो आप एक आयरन भी वहाँ रख सकते हैं ताकि उनको अगर अपने कपड़े प्रेस करने हों, या फिर आप उनसे शेयर कर सकते हैं कि आप अपने कपड़े कैसे प्रेस करवाते हैं, बाहर से करवाते हैं, तो उनको पूछ सकते हैं, या फिर आप उनको जगह दिखा सकते हैं जहाँ आपकी आयरनिंग होती है। अगर वहाँ पर टेबल है तो आप उनको दिखा सकते हैं। अपने घर के बारे में थोड़ा सा उनको बता दीजिए कि कौन सी चीज़ कहाँ पर है। अगर आप कंफर्टेबल हैं तो आप उनको थोड़ा सा शो अराउंड कीजिए ताकि उनको आइडिया रहे। सुबह सुबह वो उठ के हल्का सा घूमना चाहना चाहें कहीं आसपास तो आप उनको बता सकते हैं कि कहाँ तक वो जा सकते हैं और किस तरह से जाना है। इस तरह की चीज़ें अगर आप थोड़ा सा अपने गेस्ट के लिए करेंगे तो उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा रहेगा और आपका भी एक्सपीरियंस काफ़ी अच्छा रहेगा और वो आपकी इस मेहमान नवाजी को याद रखेंगे। तो दिस इज़ अगेन रिलेटेड टू गुड होस्टिंग while preparing a guest bedroom for your guest. I hope this is helpful. तो इसको आप इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं। अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो इसे एक लाइक कर दीजिएगा, शेयर कीजिएगा जितना कर सकते हैं, और मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिएगा अगर आपने अभी तक नहीं किया है। तो वीडियो देखने के लिए धन्यवाद। Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Creative Abhyas. In my last few videos I have spoken to you about dining etiquette. But that was meant mainly for us elders. When we talk about dining etiquettes for elders, how can we forget children, kids? And don't you think it's very important for the kids or children to learn the basic dining etiquettes at least right from the beginning in their appropriate age, and children anyways turn to learn very fast, and these habits stays with them for lifelong and help them building in a good and positive personality. So to begin with, always teach your children to come to the dining table with washed hands and clean face. Once they are at the dining table, they should sit straight, do not play with the cutlery. You can teach them, and unfold the napkin when they are seated. Always be polite at the dining table and offer help if they can. Older kids can use the cutlery if they can. Little ones can anyway be excused until they are able to do so. Serve appropriately. Teach them to serve appropriately. Don't overload their plate. Taste the food first if they have not tasted certain dish and they are not sure whether they are going to like it or not. They should serve a small portion, taste it, and then go for the second helping. Always eat their food with closed mouth. Chew properly without making any sound, and do not talk in between when they have food in their mouth. That is very important. We all know by now. So teach the children not to open their mouth with food inside. They should finish the food in mouth, have a sip of water maybe, and then they should talk if they want to say something. Do not try to reach the food which is placed little away from them, out of reach food. They should ask others to pass it. And do not criticize the food offered to them. Always, in fact, teach them to be grateful, because giving them example that there are so many children and so many people in the world who don't get even a single meal a day. So they are fortunate enough to get such good food, such good meal is offered to them. So they should always show gratitude. And they should not be putting in their fingers for serving anything like sauce or the ketchup which is kept in the center. Teach them to serve it separately on their plate and then use it. Even that matter for butter also, the same thing. So they should not be putting their used spoon or used cutlery in the common dish. In fact, they should be serving it separately on their plate, and then they should be using it. So no second time dipping fingers after putting in their mouth, no licking of the fingers at the table, and no putting their fingers in their food and all that. So teach them this right from the beginning when you sit with them and they dine with you at home itself, because home is a place where they learn a lot. They lead them by example. You do the good practice and they will follow you, and set an example. Children can easily learn, and the way they learn good things very fast, they learn bad things also very fast. So if we do certain things in inappropriate manner in front of them, they will follow the same. So avoid doing such things, and in fact teach them that this is not good, this is not right. Indicate to them whenever they are doing so. And no inappropriate talk at the table. There are times when we elders only, we can't stop laughing or giggling at certain inappropriate talk when children say something. So avoid that and tell them not to talk anything inappropriate at the dining table or otherwise also. No gadgets on the table, no soft toys on the table. You can give them example that the toys they touch, it may have dirt or germs which are not seen with open eyes. So they should not carry it to the dining table. They should keep it away and then only come to the dining table. It's not hygienic. So giving them example that way, you can always encourage them not to bring their toys or their devices or any gaming device to the dining table. Also, teach them to be polite and wait for everyone to finish and then only leave the dining table or ask to be excused. Last but not the least, they should be thankful for the meal they have been served. So they must say thank you to the host who has served. In fact, right from the beginning, even at home, they should say thanks to you. It should be in the practice that they should be grateful and they should show gratitude and they should be thankful for the meals which are served to them. So they should be thankful when they are dining with others. So this is all which we can teach to our children right from the beginning, and believe me or not, it will help them a lot in building their good personality and it will go a long way. So if you have liked my video, Please hit the bell icon, share it as much as you can, leave comments, and also subscribe my channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Creative Abhyas. Today I would be talking to you on the topic that why I feel that boarding school is a good choice for a child, and in this pandemic especially why boarding schools are a step up as compared to the day school. So now I am not saying that boarding school is the only choice for the children, and the children who are staying in cities, and most of the children they go to day schools. That's like very clear and very normal. But the parents and the children who have chosen boarding schools for themselves, I will be mainly talking about them. So now the boarding schools, when we talk about boarding school in this pandemic, how can it help a child? Like right now, all the boarding schools are preparing to have children on campus back after this pandemic. Not after, but it's ongoing still. And how they will take up this challenge to overcome the pandemic and how to keep the child safe in their campus. So with my experience of working in boarding schools, I can share a bit that how boarding school can help a child to be safe in their premises. One is that when the child once arrives at the campus, the boarding school, the whole boarding school team works on it, that the child, once they come and they do their test and all, and they isolate them for initial period of quarantine and or keeping them in social distancing. After that, once they are assured that the child is free of any infection or anything, which is a regular practice at boarding school, that the medical checkup of the child is otherwise also done before this pandemic. Also, whenever a child returns to a boarding school, the boarding schools have a practice of having a medical examination for the child. And especially now during this, they are asked to bring a RT-PCR report, and on basis of that they also conduct on their campus RT-PCR test, and after that they isolate the child for a few days so that they can see if there are any symptoms, and in case it is so, that child is sent back, and the rest, the child, if it is fit for them to take into the school, they take back in the campus. And what are their practices with which they can keep the children safe at campus? So in boarding school, what happens is that they can stagger the children in different rooms, and they can provide them with like suppose there are 4 children in a room, they can make it for 2. They are working on it. And in cafeteria also they can make the children come in shifts for their meals, which is only possible in boarding school, because they have the whole day the children are with them. So they can stagger them in bringing them for the meals, getting them for the meals. It can be different timings for different classes, so that the children sit separately at the dining table, and they are spread out, and as much social distancing can be followed as much as possible. And regular hand wash and personal hygiene is taught to the child, and there are house mothers, the matrons, the dorm parents, the house parents, whatever we call in different schools, that pastoral care team works for it, and they are consistently telling the children to wash their hands. They are reminded, because children, they forget. One time telling is not enough. We just can't leave it like that. It's like 5 times if they are coming for the meal to the cafeteria, they have to be reminded, wash your hands and don't touch the surfaces and all that. Same is when they go to their classes, they can be called in shift. The classes can be conducted in shifts, and they can be made to sit separately at a distance so that social distancing is maintained. They are regularly checked for their masks and their hand wash and all those such practices which can reduce the chances of this corona infection. So this is why I highly recommend that the children who have chosen boarding school, who are a part of boarding school, and the parents who have chosen boarding schools for their children can be rest assured as compared to the day school, because day school, see, this is a hard fact that the children come from different homes. They at homes back, we don't know with whom they are interacting with. Their parents go out for work. Their housemaid comes from different places, and their servants or people coming in their home. There is no limit to it. You can't restrict. So that child, I'm like, when those children come to the school, you just can't help it. But that is the way that your children have to interact with them, and all children for that matter. So I am not talking about the day school now. They have a different condition altogether, but they are also working on it. They also take precautions. But as compared to that, in boarding school, that challenge is less, because once the child steps inside the campus, there is like the schools are working on creating a bio bubble. They have no connection with commuting. They don't allow the commuting staff. They shift everyone inside, whether it is the cafeteria staff, whether it is housekeeping, whether it is the teaching staff, whether it is the admin staff. They are working. That the whole team comes inside the campus, and then there is no connection at all with the outsiders, with the outside people, so that the infection just doesn't come in. And once the child is in, there is no going out, and all those things can be restricted. When the material comes to the school, it is sanitized, it is received in a particular way that it's safe for the children to use. All those little things are kept in mind, and school is working day and night. There is a team working day and night for this, and different strategies are followed to ensure that. So once the child has come in the campus, and if they are corona free, it can be assured to a large extent that they stay free from corona. And all those who are working with them, they follow all the practices which needs to be followed for corona times. And to fight this pandemic, the teachers, they wear the face shield and take the classes, and regular use of masks. The children are made to sit separately. They are called for classes in shifts. They come for dining in shifts. So all that can happen in boarding school. That is what I am voting for. That boarding school has that provision of creating such an environment, that creating a system where the child can be kept safe in this pandemic time. So I hope like the parents and the children who are a part of the boarding school, and the staff who is associated with boarding school, will very well understand what I am trying to say. So I highly appreciate the fact that the children and the parents who have already chosen the boarding school for their mode of study are at a much better position to feel relaxed that in this pandemic they can still go a safer way, and they have still opportunities to keep themselves safe. So that is all I want to convey through this video. I hope I am clear with my thought of today. So this is all about boarding school. I feel that I highly recommend like boarding school, those children who are part of boarding school and the parents who have chosen boarding schools. It's really under whatever circumstances they have chosen the boarding school, but definitely boarding school is very helpful in this pandemic time because of its own way of functioning and its own way of facilities on campus, and all that they can follow. So it's a step up, I'll say, in this pandemic time for corona fighting. Thank you so much. I hope this video is helpful to you. Spread it as much as you can, and so that it reaches to all the children who are a part of boarding school, and the parents and the school team of boarding school. Thank you so much. Give it a like, share as much as you can, and subscribe if you haven't.